Hi, my name is Joy Layden, and I so wish I could be there for the Trans Day of celebration. And I'm really grateful to Keshet for enabling me to virtually be there and at least a little image of me virtually take my place at the open mic. Um, I'd like to show what the powerful combination of being trans and being Jewish has meant for me as a poet. I just came back from the very first Trans Poetry and Poetics Symposium in Tucson, Arizona, that grew out of the first anthology of trans and genderqueer poetry and poetics that was published earlier this year called Troubling the Line. And um, I experienced the power of trans identity as a poetic um, inspiration and the confluence of that with my Jewish identity when I wrote a book called Psalms. These are Psalms, they're direct addresses to God that draw on both strains of my identity. And I'd just like to read three of them to you. You are making me now, right now, the clay of me warm in your hands, the hands of me warmed by your hands that shape them, shape a heart that's never been beaten, skin that shivers in secret places, places that will never be touched except by the Maker hunched patiently over the stupidity of matter, leaving your mark between my eyes, my hips, in the clay turning slowly in your hands, blinking a little in your light, as I learn to forget the tenderness you reveal in the act of making, to confuse the feeling of your fingers moving inside me with smaller, less luminous fingers that will never reach as deep, whose love will never make me something that can think, can suffer, as your love, finger by finger, is making me now. It's time the soul you planted in the soil of this unhappy body learned to love you without scratching, to recognize and melt beneath the kisses you disguise as bitterness and licorice whips and galaxies of glimmering suns dangling in drops from dripping leaves. It's time for you to plant me among your dripping leaves, and time for me to glimmer there in ecstasy, time for you to make me an instrument of your beauty, and time for me to play the music of you that can only be made of and through the holes you make in me. Your tidal tongue washes me, tendering a taste of your love to a creature made of dust and dream, splashing in the shallows of time, while you smile nearby, high and dry, like a very old man watching a very young lover abandon herself to an element he's forgotten. I've always been naked in your eyes, always quivered when your tongue tip lit on the hidden fleshy nib of my desire to exist, always known I'd dance in the tide of your love, and realize I've never left. Thank you, and happy Trans Day of celebration.